Hey, hey. Okay. So, the Sleeping at Last sweatshirt is on. You know what time it is. We're talking about my special interest again. Why? But it's my channel and I can do what I want. Every month on the channel, I'm going to shout out a different charity. This month's charity is NAACP. This stands for the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. This is an organization that is fighting to end racial inequality. Down below in the description will be the link to their website. You can donate, support in any way, even through their merch, or just learning more about what they're doing throughout the community and how you can help. Thank you guys. They're doing shows in Wheaton, Illinois, his hometown, and a documentary screening, a Sleeping at Last documentary. When I decide to leave the Midwest, then they're like, let's give the Midwest everything. Hey, what do you mean? So anybody who was in Wheaton the first week of February, like, you're just so cool or whatever, or something, good for you. Today, we're talking about, because, okay, I talked about Atlas 2. Obviously, I talked about Atlas 2 first. Kind of out of order in the scheme of, like, continuity or, like, I don't know. But that's my favorite one, okay? I'm going to talk about my favorite one first. Right? But now we're going to talk about the famous ones. Which in my personal opinion, would be Space. Their Space album. But we're going to talk about Space and maybe I won't cry this time. Sleeping at Last Space album came out in 2017 actually, which is quite interesting. This is how I feel many people know them by or have found them. Honestly, deep in my soul, I think people just know Sleeping at Last from TV shows or movies that they've been in. But I went a step further and I became insane. If I asked you if you knew the song Turning Page, you'd probably say no. If I pulled up any video on TikTok of somebody having their wedding, you'd know what song it was. Anyway, the song from this album I feel like everyone knows is Saturn. Raise your hand if I'm correct. All of you, cool. Obviously it's space, so we start with Sun. Mercury, Venus, Earth. We throw Moon in there. We have Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. And then, God, he includes Pluto. Sun is a very beautiful song. And the lyricism, but like the vocals, so dramatic. It is so dramatic. This is such theater kid music, but like I'm okay with it. I know I'm a band kid, but like still. We are the dust of dust. We are the apple of God's eye. We are infinite as the universe we hold inside. Infinity times infinity is repeated so many times that we may fall in love every time we open our eyes. Are you kidding? That's beautiful. I guess space and time takes violent things, angry things, and makes them kind. You know how it's like time heals all wounds? Well, what about space and time makes things kind instead? Like, I don't need to heal, I need things to be kind. Ugh. Just listen to it. I don't know, man. Like, I really can't help you out beyond there. Okay, Mercury. This one is on Jake's playlist. And I really don't have a reason why. I just listen to it and I'm like, this just gives Jake. I don't have a lyric that exactly sticks out to me. I don't have like a scene that it goes along with, which is what usually gets a song onto a playlist. This is just purely like, I don't know, it fits. Okay, I really like this. No one can unring this bell, unsound this alarm, unbreak my heart new. God knows I am dissonance, waiting to be swiftly pulled into tune. Oh my God. No one can unring this bell, unsound this alarm, unbreak my heart. There are things that happen that cannot be undone. They're there, okay? We cannot undo what has been done. God knows I am dissonance waiting to be swiftly pulled into tune. If you are not a music person, nerd, whatever, dissonance is this fun little musical thing. It happens, with like harmonies and stuff. And I've been out of lessons for a long time, so if I explain it badly, sorry. I'm distracted by my hair. Okay. Kind of, honestly, in the best way that I can explain it, it makes like musical impacts better because you'll like hear like the notes, all of like the different notes. You're like, yeah, this works. They'll make it purposely not work, but in the correct way. Dissonance has to actually have like a purpose. And then they'll like pull it out to the it like is supposed to make you feel uncomfortable. God knows I am the uncomfortable and I'm waiting to go into the resolution. I'm dissonance waiting to be Oh my God. And somehow I've fallen in love with this middle ground at the cost of my soul. Yeah, I know if I stepped aside, release the controls, you would open my eyes. That somehow all of this mess is just an attempt to know the worth of my life. Are you kidding me, dude? This is a song that I listen to regularly. Oh, and it's like I can't even begin to try to like whatever. I've fallen in love with this middle ground at the cost of my soul. So I've become one with the dissonance. My soul longs for the resolution, and I have just fallen into this middle ground that this is just where I am. And again, because he's mentioned God a few times, but it's like if I release the controls, you would open my eyes. That can mean, he's probably talking about God in this, but that can also mean like romantic partners, friends, family. They can open your eyes. So if I just stepped aside and released the controls that I put on my own life, you could open my eyes. All of this mess is just an attempt to know the worth of my life. Is that not what we do forever and always? Like try to understand the point of life, blah, blah, blah. And everything we are trying to do is just an attempt to know. But we're not going to like know the whole point. If you're watching a movie, unless it's like really generically like spanned out, you won't understand the point of all of these things that are going on until you get to the end of the movie, the resolution, and you're like, oh, okay, all of the things are tied together if it's made well. That's life. Not everything's going to make sense until life's over. So all of this mess is just an attempt to know the worth of my life. This is meaningful to me because if any of you know, my dog's name is Venus, so I think that's really cute. And I was thinking about the song a little bit ago, like when I was finding the music and stuff. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is a love story. Like, and we'll get into how it's a love story, but then it hit me. Venus. It's the Roman the Roman version. Like, the planets are named after the Roman gods. Venus is the love goddess. I'm like, of course, when you're writing about the planet Venus, you have to write a love story. After a while, I thought I'd never find you. I convinced myself that I would never find you when suddenly I saw you. This is a song about soulmates. If you say I'm wrong, there's the door. Honestly, any edit for your favorite ship, make an edit to just that. Like this whole song, honestly. You're as beautiful as endless. You're the universe I'm helpless in, an astronomer at my best when I throw away the measurements. Like, okay. You're as beautiful as endless. Space is endless and like the universe is expanding and that's beautiful, but you are as beautiful. That's basically saying you're as beautiful as the whole universe. Hello? There's a billion little pieces till you pulled me into focus. Astronomy in reverse. It was me who was discovered. Oh my, I'm not normal about this. And it's like finding yourself in a relationship. It just, again, it's a love song. As soon as I listened to Earth, I knew it made me think of A Life in the Forest all the time. But when I decided where I was, when it like hit me like where this should go in the playlists, I was like, ooh. So guys, it is in Jake's playlist, and that is for a book 2 Jake situation. It's in Jake's playlist. That's where I'll leave that. Fault lines tremble underneath my glass house, but I put it out of my mind long enough to call it courage. To live without a lifeline, I bend the definition of faith to exonerate my blind eye. Till the sirens sound, I'm safe. God, my glass house of hypocrisy crumbles on the fault lines. Are you kidding me? But I put it out of my mind long enough to call it courage. If we ignore it, it's okay. We're stronger. A glass house built on fault lines could refer to the achievements and society built by humanity, and how fragile it is, seeing as it will collapse if the earth does. Everything we have made is built on a foundation, earth, and therefore we are dependent on it. As long as we are bound to it, we are living without a lifeline. The part about putting it out of mind and calling that ignorance courage is reflecting that humanity, more often than not, fails to accept its dependency. Yeah, we marvel in what we have created instead of fearing what we have done. Okay, genius lyrics. Oh my god. We marvel in what we have created instead of fearing what we have done. Okay, Frankenstein. Manipulate that it here refers to the destruction and capitalization of nature that is being ignored. Thank you, that's where I was trying to get. In a sense, this person is deluding themselves into believing that their ignorance of these effects is excusable. Thank you. I was looking for the right words and you had it, Genius Lyrics. Like, our world is burning, and like Genius Lyrics was saying, like, we are so dependent on it and it is just being destroyed because of us in our glass house. And the hypocrisy, oh my gosh. We have built this fragile ecosystem on top of an ecosystem that already existed, and it's so dependent on it, but we just keep destroying. But if we ignore it, then it's fine. Till the sirens sound, I'm safe. Until it's too late. When the sirens sound, it's too late. But we're like, we're safe, we're fine. The earth's going to explode is what I'm trying to say. Moon is entirely instrumental. It is a great song. I skip it a lot of the time. We'll get into that. Moon is in... It might be in 5 or 6. At least 5, maybe 6 people's character playlist. Definitely in Syra, Bear, Jake, and Rachel. And I'm thinking it's probably in Katrina's as well, and I don't know if it's in Chris's or not, but it might be. So Moon I have in my head, because that's what a lot of, mostly if there's a Sleeping at Last song in one of the playlists, chances are I have it to a specific scene. Sleeping at Last is my temp score, okay? For a thing that doesn't exist yet, it's my temp score. But Moon is in a scene for book 3. It's a beautiful scene as well as an intense scene, which is why I think I skip the song a lot, because then I think of the scene. Mars is amazing. Once again, just like how Venus was a love song because goddess of love, Mars is a war song because god of war. We laid our names to rest along the dotted line. We left our date of birth and our history behind. Okay, the draft, right? We're all cut up. We were full of life, we could barely hold it in. We were amateurs at war, strangers to suffering. So children going to war, we're these young boys going to war, actual children. We made our families proud, but scared at the same time. We'd promised we'd be safe, another lie from the front lines. How can you ever promise that you're safe when you're in war, That's just not possible. You cannot promise that. Our backs against the wall, we're surrounded and afraid. Our lives now in the hands of the soldiers taking aim. Okay. We see it. Again, the visualization of the lyrics is very, very bold. They're in a corner. The opposite end of the war, they've found them. They're in danger. Our questions ricochet like broken satellites. And it's bringing us back so we remember that this is really about space, but it's not. How our bodies, born to heal, become so prone to die. I love that line. How are born in such a specific way, our lungs instantly adapt to the world that we come out into when we're born. And there's the miracle of childbirth and all of that. It's so perfect and exact. And then through our lives, you get a scab and it heals. You do our bodies heal, especially when we're that young. Our bodies heal very quickly, but so prone to die. At the same time, it is so fragile. We heal, we grow, we are fragile. As life replayed, we heard a voice proclaim. So, your life replays before you die. Lay your weapons down. Oh my God, I love this line. Lay your weapons down, they're calling off the war, on account of losing track of what we're fighting for. Oh my God. We're calling off the war because it's gone on for so long we don't even know why it started anymore. World War I, Christmas truce. Unofficial ceasefires on the Western Front. So it wasn't even an announced thing. 100,000 plus British, German, and French soldiers paused fighting, shared cigarettes/gifts, sang carols, and played football in no man's land. This brief moment of humanity companionship lasted until the new year in some areas, though commanders soon ordered the fighting to resume. That story sits with me in such a crazy way, because what are we fighting for? For our leaders? Let them do it. If we're able to lay our weapons down and enjoy Christmas together on the front lines and then die the next day by killing each other, genuinely, what are we fighting for? What is the point? How does any of this make sense? That's what that line makes me think of all the time, is the Christmas truce. And now we get into Jupiter. Yes, okay, Jupiter is very, very fun. Because what the space songs start to do is they'll have an instrumental at the beginning, and then there'll be some lyrics and then be done. And Jupiter's instrumental is very, very beautiful. And then we come to Saturn, which I feel like everybody probably knows. It is very, very beautiful. I remember when I first listened to it, it was late one night in my bed, and I listened to Saturn. I think this was really the first song that I truly put a scene to, and my headphones, noise canceling, whatever, loud music in my ear, and I acted out I act out a lot of my scenes, gonna be completely honest, but I acted out this scene to the instrumental of Saturn. And the scene hadn't existed before I did this. Honestly, Saturn is the reason that this scene exists at all. I can say nothing else about this scene. I cannot even I can't breathe about this scene. But one day I will tell you all what scene I was talking about. But it's just kind of crazy. Saturn was my gateway drug. Okay. You taught me the courage of stars before you left, how light carries on endlessly even after death. With shortness of breath, you explained the infinite, how rare and beautiful it is to even exist. That's a line that they put on their merch and like everywhere all the time. Beautiful. I couldn't help but ask for you to say it all again. I tried to write it down, but I could never find a pen. I'd give anything to hear you say it one more time, that the universe was made just to be seen by my eyes. So beautiful and so heartfelt. If you've ever lost anyone in your life, if anyone who like a loved one has passed, this is, it's beautiful. And ending with shortness of breath, I'll explain the infinite, how rare and beautiful it truly is that we exist. That switch from somebody told me that it's beautiful to simply exist, and like now later I will say it, like we pass on the wisdom that we get as we get older, and it kind of feels like a deathbed type of thing. You know, I get that vibe where it's like, oh, you told me this on your deathbed, I will say it on mine. So then there's Uranus, I don't know, somehow you say it. And I say this so genuinely. It's all instrumental. It's an instrumental one. It is so beautiful. It's so beautiful. Once again, it's put to a very specific life from the forest scene. I kind of love Neptune. I love the pitch black, pale blue. It was a stained glass variation of the truth. I really like it. You set me sail with cheap wood, so I patched up every leak that I could till the blame grew too heavy. Oh my god. You sent me out with cheap wood, but you're blaming me? Okay, stitch by stitch I tear apart. If brokenness is a form of art, I must be a poster child prodigy. If brokenness is a work of art, surely this must be my masterpiece. Hey, whoa. Okay. We're saying I'm so good at being broken that I'm a poster child prodigy and this is my masterpiece. This might be in Syra's playlist. I'm only honest when it rains. If I time it right, the thunder breaks when I open my mouth. I want to tell you, but I don't know how. If that isn't Syra, if that isn't me, are you kidding me? I love the rain. I want to tell you, but I don't know how. I never know how to say anything that's in my brain or on my soul. I get told off about it all the time when people finally find out. They're like, hey, why didn't you say something? And I'm like, well, I want to tell you, but I don't know how. I'm only honest when it rains. It doesn't rain every day. But if I time it right, the thunder will break as soon as I open my mouth. I swear I can do this all correctly. I need the timing to be right. But then you're not honest. You have to be honest more than just when it rains. I'm only honest when it rains. An open book with a torn out page and my inks run out. I want to love you, but I don't know how. Okay, I'm an open book. I think I even say that and it's a lie. Like, I'm an open book, you know? Read whatever you want. But my ink ran out, so it's an empty book, and the pages are torn out, so it's just, you can only judge me by the cover, because that's all I'm giving you. Enjoy. Of course, it's all nautical themed, because, once again, Neptune. Do we know the Roman gods? The last line is, I want to love you. But, see, it doesn't say I don't know how after that, so maybe there's a chance that we do know. Maybe there's a chance. But we have to be honest. You can't love without being honest. Pluto. love Pluto. I used to love it like a lot, where I'd be like, when it came on. I think I still have it in some character playlists because it's just so like, to me, it just screams like, I'm doing good, I'm doing better. And I wanted that to be in some of the characters, like when they're doing better. So that is Space 1 and 2. Didn't realize there were 2 things. But I implore you all to listen, obviously. There's Space 1 and 2, but then there's also Astronomy Volume 1 and 2. He's a nerd for space, basically, is what I'm here to say. And please, I implore you all to listen to Astronomy Volumes 1 and 2. It has some of the space songs thrown in there. But let me just read you some of these titles, like you would not even begin to believe. August 21st, 2017, Total Solar Eclipse. That is a song title. He will take important moments in like space history, make a song out of it that's all instrumental, and like, here you go. And that's what Astronomy Volume 1 and 2 is. And it is some of the most beautiful it's some of the most beautiful stuff ever. That's more on Sleeping at Last. I always have to talk about it. Atlas 2 is still my favorite thing ever. And I have that on vinyl now because my friends are so nice. And yeah, he's just our little space nerd. This is an album I feel like most people would know, especially if you're keeping up with me and my stuff and you look and check out like the character playlists. A lot of these songs are on there. So thank you guys for watching once again. I hope you like me talking about some of my favorite things on the planet, because I do it quite often. But yeah, subscribe. I don't know, do all the fun stuff. Thank you guys for watching so much, and I hope you check out all this stuff. And Ryan O'Neal, I never stop making music. Hey Ryan, can I use your music? Because like it's kind of my temp score right now, so if I could just, it's fine, you don't have to. I'm just saying, Ryan O'Neal, you don't have a bigger fan than me, I'm sure. I'm just putting that out there. Love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.